Hello, and welcome to this presentation on opportunities within the Iran drilling and well services market. My name is Hannah Lewindon, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at AFRAZ Advisors and the author of our new Iran Drilling and Well Services report. Today I will be talking about what has changed in Iran. What does this mean for international companies, and specifically those in the drilling and well services and equipment sector? What is the size of the prize? And finally, how AFRAZ can help. So what has changed in Iran? Firstly, let's take a look at the historical context. Sanctions were imposed by the United States and its European partners against Iran's oil sector in 1995. They have had a major impact in debilitating both the oil and gas industry and the broader economy. There are, in broad terms, four groups of sanctions imposed on Iran: UN sanctions, US primary sanctions, US secondary sanctions, and EU sanctions. Sanctions initially targeted investments in oil and gas and petrochemical industries and exports of refined petroleum products. Later, they included banking and insurance transactions, including the Central Bank of Iran. The United States and the European Union enacted measures at the end of 2011 and 2012 that affected the Iranian energy sector more profoundly than any of the previously enacted sanctions. In June 2015, Iran and the P5+1, the United States, UK, France, Russia, and China, reached a comprehensive agreement regarding Iran's nuclear program. The finalization of this agreement was subject to the approval of the Congress in the US and the Parliament in Iran, and it passed through both of these hurdles. Following implementation date on the 16th of January 2016, Iranian nuclear sanctions have been lifted, effectively allowing European companies to do business with Iran. Now let's look at the current situation. As mentioned, non-US companies can now do business in Iran. However, US primary sanctions remain in place. The new Iranian petroleum contract has been unveiled, which is a revised version of the buyback petroleum contracts. These are risk-adjusted service contracts that address the shortcoming of buyback contracts that were prevalent in Iran from 1997 until 2005. Through the new contracts, the National Iranian Oil Company is seeking to encourage participation from IOCs to address gaps in the local Iranian market. There are a number of larger IOCs who have signed confidentiality agreements with the NIOC and its subsidiaries. They are in the process of reviewing the data on particular fields of interest. These companies are well placed to participate in upcoming tenders. A significant number of new players with no previous exposure to Iran are also studying the Iranian upstream opportunities actively. The NIOC recently published pre-qualification criteria for IOCs. Interested companies who wish to participate in tenders for upstream fields have until the 19th of November to submit their application. The NIOC aims to publish a long list of qualified bidders by the 7th of December this year. So what does this mean for international companies, and specifically those in the drilling and well services and equipment sector? The lifting of sanctions has opened the door for non-US drilling and well services providers to enter Iran. This has been partly aided by the current low oil price environment and the significant growth opportunity presented in Iran, which holds the world's largest proven gas reserves, 34 trillion cubic meters, and the fourth largest proven crude oil reserves, 157.8 billion barrels. A multitude of opportunities exists for providers of drilling and well services, equipment and materials, as due to the imposition of sanctions, Iran has not had access to the latest innovative technology and associated knowledge. On account of the National Iranian Oil Company's target to increase the recovery rate at fields, as well as improve the speed and cost of drilling, the company will be seeking the most efficient and optimal technologies and methods, which will need to be sourced from outside Iran. Since the comprehensive deal on sanctions relief on the 14th of July 2015, it has become evident that US-based companies will be absent in the market as a result of the remaining US primary sanctions regime. This in turn is an opportunity for companies outside the US at the moment. Now, what is the size of the prize for these international companies? $88 billion in upstream and $26 billion in gas investment will be required in Iran by 2020. According to the NIOC Deputy Director for Development and New Projects, in the next 5 years, the NIOC aims to increase natural gas liquids production to 1 million barrels per day, crude oil production to 4.7 million barrels per day, and gas exports to 100 billion cubic meters. Iran's steep targets for drilling and production, coupled with the increasing maturity of major producing fields, will place substantial pressure on aging oilfield equipment. This will create substantial opportunities for foreign drilling and well services and equipment companies. As you can see in the chart on the left here, in comparison to key countries from other regions, including that of Iraq and the Middle East, Iran is a significant growth area in the short and long term. How can AFRAZ advisors help you? AFRAZ provides independent information and guidance to international companies looking to enter or re-enter the Iranian oil and gas market. The company started operating in 2013 and has since helped several oil companies achieve first-mover advantage in Iran. We focus 100% on reducing the costs and risk of our clients evaluating Iran. As mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, I am the author of the Iran Drilling and Well Services Report. This is a 40-page report that provides high-level insight into the oil and gas drilling and well services, equipment and materials market in Iran. You can use it to identify the gaps in the market where there is need for your product or service, learn about local companies and potential partners active in the sector, and learn about contracting models and regulation, and ultimately plan your market entry. Thank you for watching this presentation. I hope you found it valuable. Please feel free to get in touch with me directly should you have any questions or comments, or if you would like to find out more about and purchase the Iran Drilling and Well Services Report. My details are on the screen. Thank you.